Suppose that you are a student who just received your first failing grade on an assignment. Having never received a failing grade before, you are disappointed and surprised at your assessment. You wonder where you went wrong and you start to feel depressed. You start blaming yourself and feel like you are a failure as a student. Your friends decide to take you out in order to cheer you up. Karen tells you how sorry she is that you failed your assignment. Mike places his arm around your shoulder and says, "I know how you're feeling. I failed a calculus assignment last semester. I know you must be disappointed and upset with yourself, but try to not be too harsh." Mike's response is an example of empathy. You are probably somewhat familiar with the saying, "Put yourself in someone else's shoes." This saying is an example of empathy. Empathy is the ability to understand what another person is feeling. Showing empathy involves seeing things from another person's perspective so that you can understand and relate to his or her feelings. It is easier to empathize with someone when you have been in a similar situation. For example, Mike was easily able to empathize with you in the example because he previously received a failing grade in calculus. If you are an alcoholic and attend an AA meeting, it will be easier for the other members of the meeting to understand and empathize with your feelings about your alcoholism because they are experienced or have experienced similar things. Many psychologists rely on empathy when working with their clients. For example, psychologists who show empathy have a better understanding of what it is like to be the client and have these experiences. Psychologists also use empathy in order to understand the significance that certain events hold for the client. When used correctly in the therapeutic setting, empathy can result in a deeper connection between client and therapist and improve the working relationship. Empathy can also be used in order to validate a person's feelings. When you empathize with a person, it lets him or her know that he or she is not alone and that other people have had similar experiences and reactions. This knowledge of connectedness can improve the relationship between you and the person you are showing empathy toward and result in positive outcomes. For example, it may be that after your conversation with Mike, you realize that failing one assignment does not mean that you failed as a student and you are no longer depressed. Empathy is often confused with sympathy. When you feel sorry for someone else's hardships, it's called sympathy. In the example at the beginning, Karen was expressing sympathy. Karen expressed her sorrow for you failing your assignment as a way to comfort you. However, she did not express that she could relate to your experience. Mike, on the other hand, was able to relate to and understand your feelings regarding your experience. Therefore, Mike was showing empathy. We can think of empathy as, "I understand how you are feeling," and sympathy as, "I am sorry for what you are experiencing." Empathy refers to the ability to put yourself in someone else's position and understand what they are feeling. Empathy is easier in situations where you have previously experienced what the person is going through. Sympathy is when you feel sorrow for what someone else is experiencing. So remember, the next time someone asks you to put yourself in his or her shoes, what he or she is really asking is for you to show some empathy.